everybody, are you ready to plant cucumbers? All right, so these are our carrots. I just wanted to mention them because they're ready to get thinned. They maybe could have been thinned a few days ago. So if yours look like this and they're ready to be thinned, you can start doing it too. It's really easy. You can use scissors or you can just use your fingers. Scissors are a little better because it doesn't destroy the root, but that's all right. You just go in and just kind of pick off, and don't worry about the root coming out. They can just come off right above the root. And just kind of pick them out until there's only one by itself and the next one's close to it or about an inch away. And then you can just do some more, just kind of pick which one you think looks best. It really kind of is a guessing game. All right, there, thin those, and just keep going until your whole pot maybe has like 6 or 8 of them. So that's how you thin your carrots, and then keep them in a sunny spot, keep watering them, and in another month and a half, you're gonna have carrots. In the meantime, you're gonna plant cucumbers. All right, so we have our stuff here to plant cucumbers. If you haven't pulled it out of your bag, go ahead and pull it out now. This sheet is everything I'm gonna talk about. It's all the instructions, so you don't have to watch this video. You can just read this sheet. You also have a pot. You have some potting soil. This time we threw in a coffee filter. I'll show you why in a second. This is a plant label. You don't have to use it, but now you've got 2 plants. You might want to know which one is which, so you can write right on there what that is. And then these are your seeds. And you are going to need some water. And last time it was pretty messy, so I have a bowl I might put under if I get too much water. All right, so just like last time, you're gonna moisten your water, or moisten your soil. But first, this time you're gonna take your coffee filter and you're gonna just put it in the bottom so it covers up all the holes. This depends on what kind of pot you're using. If you're using your own pot, you don't have to, but this way the soil won't come out of the holes, because we heard that some people had that habit. All right, so then you're gonna take your soil, and just like last time, if you wanna use your hands, you can use your hands. I'm wearing work clothes, so I'm probably just gonna do it this way. Pour a little bit of water in, squish it around till all the water is absorbed. And again, if you don't remember, you want it to be moist enough that when you take a handful and you hold it like that, it sticks together, but then it crumbles really easily once you put it back in the bag up in the ground. So I think that's probably pretty good. All right, now this time you're just gonna put all the soil right in the pot. With cucumbers, they have to be planted a little bit deeper, so you're not gonna have to worry as much about keeping soil aside. And even with carrots, you can kind of scratch it in, but this is easier. Now you may have, I think I might have a little more soil than is gonna fit in my pot. So we'll see. Maybe about enough. So you're gonna fill up your pot. Again, if you don't remember for the carrots, there's like a little line right here you can see. You're gonna fill up your pot until you get to about that line. Okay? Then kind of tamp down the soil, and it'll go down a little bit more when you put some water on it too. So it'll probably shrink a little bit. All right, so now you're gonna poke 3 or 4 holes. Everyone got a little bag like this. Most of them have 3, some of them, if you're lucky, have 4. But you want the holes to be spread out. Now, if you are gonna do this outside, cucumbers and everything in the curcubit family, I think I'm adding an extra R there, cucurbit family, they all like to have really well-drained soil. So we usually grow them in hills if you're a farmer. So if you ever go to a pumpkin patch, you might notice there's kind of a hill down the middle and the pumpkins are growing in that. And if you're growing your cucumber outside, making a hill and putting in like compost or leaves and stuff like that mixed in can actually be a really good way to grow them. But here in these pots, we gave you soil that should be really good. You're just gonna poke holes that are spread out. So see, I'm gonna poke one way over here, and you want them to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep. So kind of look at my finger, I'm doing it a little bit past the first joint there. I'm gonna poke 3 good holes. Okay, and then I'm gonna put these into my hand, and they're super small, so I don't wanna lose them. Not as small as carrot seeds though. Now here's an interesting thing. If you look at the seed, And this one you can see pretty well. If you look at the seed, I don't think it'll focus on it, maybe it will. And you look at the two ends of this seed look a little bit different. And the one that has a little bump on it is actually the one where the cucumber attached to the plant. It almost is like the belly button, like a little umbilical cord inside the plant. And that's where the plant is going to come out of. So if you put that one in first, it doesn't really matter. But if you put that one in first, it's supposed to get better roots. I don't know if that's true or not. And the other thing is, if you can't remember how deep to plant a seed, they say you should plant it 3 to 4 times how wide the seed is, how tall the seed is. So if you look at it, it's a little bit less than, maybe 1/3 of an inch. So about 3 of them is about 1 inch, and that's about how deep you put them. All right, so we're gonna put 1 in each hole. I don't really worry about it. I just kind of put them in. And my cucumbers do great. And then you're gonna cover them up. Then you're gonna press them in just a little bit because you wanna make sure that the seed feels the soil all around it. That's what sends it the signal to grow. And then you're gonna add a little bit of water. Now in this case, I'm gonna put this in the bowl because last time I added water and it went all over the ground. I'm gonna put a bit of water, and this one, they don't wash away as easy as carrots. So this one you can just kind of pour a little water on. You can also put them in a dish, a bowl or a plate, and just pour the water in the bottom. And then it'll kind of suck it up through the roots or through the bottom of the plant. So these are my cucumbers and they're planted. And now I'm gonna wait. You can just put them kind of wherever. You wanna keep them moist. All seeds like to be moist. The water is what tells it to start growing. And then probably in about a week, I think they actually say 7 to 14 days, but I've planted a lot of cucumbers this year. They've all sprouted in 5 to 7 days. And you'll see little green things poking up. Now, when the cucumber first comes up, you're gonna see these 2 really long leaves. They'll come out and then they'll go like this. And those aren't real leaves. Those are called cotyledons. And you can look that up, cotyledon. And those are the leaves that were already kind of inside of the seed, and they have all the photosynthesis parts and all of the sun collecting parts for that plant to get all the energy it needs to start making real leaves. So you'll see those 2 come up. Then after that, out of the middle where those 2 join, you're gonna see a little kind of pokey leaf, and that one will be kind of triangular. And that is your cucumber's first true leaf. And when your cucumber has 2 true leaves, that means one comes up and pokes out, and then another one comes up and pokes out, then if you want to move it outside, you can. Now, as soon as you see cotyledons, as soon as you see any green at all, get it to some sun, make sure it's in a sunny window or somewhere. But once it's got 2 true leaves, that's your sign that the roots are sturdy enough that you can set it outside if you want it. Until then, you want to kind of protect it because it's still a baby. Now, the other thing about cucumbers is you can put them in your ground. They love it. So if you're gonna do that, set them outside once they have 2 true leaves. And then after that, leave them there for a few days, and then put them where you're gonna plant them for a couple days, and then go ahead and plant them. That's called hardening them off, and that'll help them be strong enough to be able to handle like the wind and the sun and everything that's outside. Now, once you plant them, they are a vine. What that means is that they like to climb things. So if you have a stake, like just a pole you can put in the ground, or you have a fence you can plant them near, it'll make them really happy. They will grow along the ground, but if they grow along the ground, you're more likely to get things like diseases and bugs that'll eat them. So if they can grow up, it's much better. And you're gonna get straighter fruit too. Now, cucumbers are gonna be ready to eat about 60 days after you plant them. So it's the middle of May, we're talking about June, the middle of July, you'll probably have some cucumbers. Now the thing about cucumbers and all the cucurbits is you want to plant them when they're young, because the more they grow, the tougher they get. So these ones grow to be 6 to 8 inches long. As soon as they're ready, you're going to cut them off. The other thing is that tells the plant, that tells the vine that it needs to make more, because the ones that it got didn't grow to be full adults. That'll help you get more fruit too. So keep cutting, keep enjoying your cucumbers, and one plant can give you 6, 8, 10, 12 cucumbers that you can enjoy in the summer and stay hydrated. All right, we'll be having this video in Spanish, and I'm also going to give you an update on my cucumbers from my house, which I enjoy making. Hopefully you enjoy watching too. All right, thanks everybody.